If you thought the love and hip-hop drama had reached its limit, you haven't seen anything yet. Because what just came out tonight has fans across the internet losing their minds. A behind-the-scenes video allegedly leaked by Karlie herself has surfaced, showing Kirk Frost and Jasmine Washington sneaking into what appears to be a Netflix studio in downtown Atlanta. The footage is grainy, the audio is muffled, but one thing is certain, something is going on between them that no one was supposed to see. And Karlie, of all people, is the one holding the match to this explosion. The clip starts off innocent enough. Kirk, dressed in a black hoodie and baseball cap, walks through the studio hallway, looking around like he's trying not to be recognized. Then Jasmine steps out from a side door, heels clicking, sunglasses on indoors, whispering something that the mic barely catches. "You sure Rashida won't find out?" That single line sent fans spiraling. Within hours, the video had spread across Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube like wildfire, sparking chaos in the fandom. Some say it's just an old business meeting. Others swear it's the beginning of something that could shatter Rashida and Kirk's already fragile marriage for good. Karlie posted the clip on her private story with the caption, "Netflix bag, making people forget their vows." She deleted it minutes later, but not before screen recordings started circulating. Now the entire cast group chat is reportedly in meltdown mode. According to a source close to production, Rashida hasn't said a word publicly but is furious behind closed doors, and Kirk has gone completely silent on social media. Fans who've followed this saga from the beginning know this isn't just another rumor. Every time Jasmine's name enters the picture, something burns down. And here's where it gets messier. Insiders claim Netflix was in talks with several Love and Hip Hop cast members for a new docuseries focusing on real-life relationship recoveries and betrayals in the entertainment world. If that's true, then Kirk and Jasmine's meeting might not have been so innocent, or maybe it was staged, and Karlie caught them rehearsing before the official shoot. But if it was a setup, why did Karlie delete it so quickly? Why did the footage look like it was filmed in secret, not professionally shot? Every angle raises a new question, and none of them look good for Kirk. The Frost family brand, Rashida's boss lady image, even Karlie's credibility, everything is hanging by a thread tonight. Fans are calling it the Netflix betrayal, and hashtags like hashtag Kirk and Jasmine exposed and hashtag KARLIE leaked it are already trending. One fan tweeted, "Karlie just turned Love and Hip Hop into an espionage thriller," while another wrote, "That man will never learn." But the real twist isn't in the clip itself, it's in what happens next. When the people involved start turning on each other to protect their own names. Because if Karlie truly leaked this for revenge, there's no coming back. The alliances are breaking, secrets are spilling, and what was once just reality TV is starting to look like a real-life war. The Netflix studio was quiet that night, too quiet for Atlanta. It was supposed to be a closed-door meeting, private and low-key. But the air already felt heavy with something that didn't belong there. Kirk Frost walked in first, wearing a dark hoodie pulled tight over his head, glancing left and right as if even the shadows could betray him. Jasmine Washington followed minutes later, dressed like she hadn't planned to be seen, her hair pulled back, face hidden behind oversized glasses. She held her phone tight in her hand, not saying a word until the door clicked shut behind her. "You sure this ain't gonna blow back on me?" she whispered, voice trembling just enough to sound real. Kirk exhaled slowly, setting a water bottle on the table. "It's business, Jasmine, nothing more, nothing less." But even he didn't sound convinced. They were sitting in one of those glass-walled Netflix conference rooms that looked modern but felt like a trap. Lights from the city bled through the windows, painting them in red and white streaks. A laptop sat open in front of Kirk, playing muted clips of an upcoming documentary pitch. The project was supposed to be about redemption stories in hip-hop artists rebuilding after scandal. Jasmine leaned over, eyes narrowing. "So that's what this is? You trying to clean your image on camera again?" Kirk chuckled, shaking his head. "Nah, this time it's real. They offered me a producer credit. It's a bag we can't ignore." She blinked, processing that word "we." Her lips parted. "We? What do you mean we?" Kirk looked up, finally meeting her eyes. "They want the truth. All of it. And you're part of that truth, whether we like it or not." The silence that followed felt like it could crack glass. Jasmine pushed back from the table, arms crossed. "So you called me here to exploit me? Again?" Kirk stood too, tension rising in his shoulders. "You think I wanted this? Netflix came to me. Jasmine, they already knew about everything. All I'm trying to do is control the story before somebody else does." Her laugh was short and bitter. "Control? You've been trying to control me since the day I met you. And now you want to do it with a camera." Kirk's jaw tightened. You think I wanted to see you dragged through the mud again? You think Rashida didn't almost lose her mind last time? Jasmine's voice dropped to a whisper. Don't you dare bring her into this. A light flickered outside the glass, and both of them froze. A studio assistant was walking past with a clipboard, oblivious to the storm brewing inside that room. Jasmine moved closer to Kirk, lowering her voice. If she finds out I was here, it's over for both of us. Kirk rubbed his temples. Nobody's finding out. I made sure this meeting wasn't on the call sheet. Jasmine stared at him for a long second, her face softening just a little. You said that before. Kirk looked away, guilt flashing across his face. The weight of everything unsaid hung between them. Meanwhile, down the hall, someone else was moving quietly, heels clicking, phone camera on. Karlie Red had been invited to the same studio hours earlier for a different segment, but curiosity had always been her addiction. She had heard Kirk's name mentioned in passing, followed the sound of his voice like a hunter stalking prey. The small gap in the door was enough. Her phone lens peeked through, recording every frame. Karlie's whisper barely registered over the hum of the air conditioning. Oh, this gonna be good. Inside, Jasmine took a step closer to Kirk, frustration spilling over. You really think Netflix wants redemption? They want drama, Kirk. They want to make a fool out of us again. Kirk's voice cracked. They want to pay. I'm trying to get ahead of it. I got 2 stores to keep open. Rashida got her brand, and I'm tired of being the bad guy. Jasmine leaned in, her face inches from his. Then stop acting like one. Kirk looked at her like he'd been slapped. For a second, neither of them moved. Then Jasmine sighed and sat down again, exhausted. I shouldn't have come here, she muttered. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have, Kirk said quietly, but his tone wasn't angry, just worn down. They both sat there in silence while the city buzzed outside. Jasmine broke first. So what now? Kirk looked at her, then at the laptop. They want to film a teaser next week. Just interviews. Honest talk. Jasmine frowned. And what exactly do you want me to say? That I ruined your marriage. That I was the mistake you can't delete. Kirk flinched. Don't do that. You know it wasn't like that. She laughed, shaking her head. Wasn't it? The question lingered. He opened his mouth to answer, but a loud vibration interrupted the sound of Jasmine's phone lighting up. A message flashed across the screen. Rashida Frost, call me ASAP. Jasmine's blood ran cold. Kirk saw it too, his face draining of color. She knows, Jasmine whispered. Kirk stepped back, voice low. No, she couldn't. She doesn't. In the hallway, Karlie caught that exact moment on video, the panic, the look, the phone in Jasmine's hand. She zoomed in just enough to make out Kirk's expression, then whispered to herself. Busted. Back inside, Jasmine stood up, pacing. If she even suspects something, it's done. Netflix or not. I'm not going through that again. Kirk tried to reach for her arm, but she pulled away. Don't touch me. Every time I listen to you, I end up the villain. He sighed. You're not the villain, Jasmine. You're the truth. The truth doesn't need a camera, she snapped. The truth needs peace. She grabbed her purse, ready to leave, but Kirk blocked the door. Don't walk out like this. If you leave now, they'll twist it worse. Let's just talk. Jasmine stopped, breathing hard. Talk about what? How you're using this project to make yourself look like a family man again. Or how I'm supposed to play along like I don't still get blamed for everything. Kirk's voice rose. You think I wanted that? You think I liked being the headline every season? Then maybe you should have stopped giving them reasons. She shot back. Their words collided like thunder. Kirk's hands were shaking now. You don't get it. This show, this brand, this deal, it's all I got left. If I don't fix this, it's over. For me, for Rashida, for the store, for everything. Jasmine stared at him, her voice breaking. And me? What about me, Kirk? He hesitated. You'll be fine. She laughed again, bitter this time. Fine. I haven't been fine since the day I met you. Outside, Karlie whispered into her phone mic. This is gold. Pure gold. Jasmine wiped her eyes, turning away from him. You know what? Maybe Netflix does need to hear the truth, but not your version. She opened the door, brushing past him. Kirk called after her. Jasmine, don't do this. She didn't answer. The sound of her heels faded down the hallway. Kirk stood there, staring at the empty chair she'd left behind, his chest rising and falling. Then he looked toward the door, eyes narrowing. He could have sworn he saw a shadow move. Karlie ducked around the corner, heart pounding, phone still recording. She whispered to herself, Girl, you just got the clip of the year. The camera caught her reflection in the glass, smiling, breathless, triumphant. She tucked her phone into her purse and walked off, humming under her breath, unaware that what she just filmed would detonate everything by morning. Back inside, Kirk finally sat down, head in his hands. The clock on the wall read 11:47 p.m. The meeting was supposed to last 20 minutes. It had been almost 2 hours. His phone buzzed one message from Rashida. "Where are you?" He didn't reply. Outside, the city lights blinked like warning signs. He didn't know that somewhere in that same building, Karlie Red was uploading the first few seconds of her video to a private drive. And once it hit her hands, there was no turning back. The elevator doors closed with a sharp metallic thud, sealing Karlie inside with the kind of secret that could end careers. She looked down at her phone screen, replaying the last few seconds of the video. The sound wasn't perfect, but Kirk's voice was unmistakable. Jasmine's panic even clearer. She smirked, whispering to herself, "Netflix ain't ready for this." She wasn't supposed to be in that hallway, wasn't even supposed to know about the meeting. But Karlie Red had never followed rules when it came to good television. Scandal was her currency, and tonight she had struck gold. As she stepped into the cool night air outside the studio, her phone buzzed. It was Erica Mena, calling from New York. Karlie answered, half laughing already. "Girl, you up?" Erica groaned. "Karlie, it's 1 in the morning. What did you do now?" Karlie hesitated, then grinned. "Let's just say Kirk's been busy." There was silence on the line. "Don't tell me Jasmine's involved again," Erica said. Karlie's voice dropped low. "Oh, she's involved. I just caught them at Netflix. And it ain't no acting gig, boo." Erica's sigh came sharp. "Karlie, don't post that." "Not yet. You're gonna set the internet on fire?" Karlie laughed. "That's the point." Meanwhile, inside the studio, Kirk was still sitting in that cold glass room, staring at the reflection of himself in the window. Jasmine was gone, but her perfume lingered. He rubbed his temples, thinking about how quickly everything could spin out of control. Netflix had given him an offer he couldn't refuse, a chance to rebuild his image, show the world he wasn't the villain, but somehow, just like every other time, the past had followed him right into the room. His phone buzzed again, Rashida calling this time. He hesitated, then answered. "Hey." Her voice came firm, calm but sharp. "Where are you?" He swallowed. "Still at the meeting?" "At midnight," she shot back. "You said it'd be an hour." Kirk sighed, trying to sound casual. "Yeah, it ran long. You know how these business people get." There was a pause, then Rashida's tone softened just a little. "Business people, or Jasmine." Kirk froze. "What? Don't play with me," she said quietly. "Somebody sent me a message saying they saw Jasmine in that building. Tell me they're lying." Kirk felt his pulse climb. "Babe, listen, it's not what it sounds like. Rashida cut him off. "Don't babe me. I swear, Kirk, if I see that girl's name attached to yours again, it's over." The line went dead. Kirk sat back, exhaling slowly. The night had officially turned into a nightmare. Upstairs, a Netflix producer named Dana walked past the same conference room, stopping when she noticed the door slightly ajar. She peeked in, confused. The laptop was still on, recording light blinking faintly. She stepped inside, muttering, "Who leaves this running?" She clicked the mouse, freezing the screen, but when she did, the playback jumped to a new window, a reflection of Kirk and Jasmine arguing, caught by the laptop's internal webcam. Her eyes widened. Oh no, the system had been recording the whole time. By the time dawn rolled around, Atlanta was already awake. Karlie hadn't slept. She'd uploaded the clip to her private drive, sent snippets to 2 close blogger friends under the promise they wouldn't post until she gave the word. But one of them, hungry for clicks, couldn't wait. By 8:13 a.m., a Twitter account called AT&T of ATL dropped the 30-second teaser. Kirk and Jasmine in the Netflix conference room, arguing about Rashida. The caption read, "Did Karlie Red just catch the scandal of the year? #Lovey and Afip. #Netflix meeting." The internet detonated. Within minutes, gossip pages started reposting. The video hit 200,000 views before Karlie even woke up again. Kirk's name trended nationwide by 9 a.m. Fans flooded Rashida's page with comments. "Sis, please tell us this is fake. Why he always embarrassing you? Netflix meeting. Really?" Rashida didn't post anything, but insiders claimed she'd locked herself in her store office, refusing to take calls. Jasmine, on the other hand, went offline completely. At noon, Karlie's phone exploded with notifications. Erica called again, furious. "Girl, you said you weren't gonna drop it yet." Karlie sounded half asleep, half thrilled. "I didn't. Somebody leaked it," Erica hissed. "And who you think gave it to them?" Karlie rolled her eyes. "Don't start. You act like the world didn't need to see what really goes down when the cameras ain't rolling." Erica shot back, And what happens when Kirk finds out you filmed him without consent? You ready for that lawsuit? Karlie's grin faltered for the first time. Lawsuit or ratings, either way I win. Meanwhile, Kirk and Rashida's phone lines were blowing up. Producers from Love and Hip Hop were already on damage control, trying to figure out if the Netflix footage could be claimed as part of the show's storyline. Mona Scott-Young herself was reportedly furious. "This ain't how we do cross-network business," she told her assistant, pacing her office. "If Kirk's out there freelancing for Netflix behind our backs, he's done." By the afternoon, Kirk finally drove home. He hadn't spoken to Jasmine again, hadn't responded to calls from Netflix either. When he pulled into the driveway, Rashida was waiting on the porch, arms folded. She didn't yell when he walked up, didn't even move. "You done?" she asked. Kirk tried to hold her gaze, but he couldn't. "I didn't leak that video," he said. "You don't need to leak something to live it," she replied coldly. He reached for her hand, but she stepped back. "Every time I think we're past it, somehow she ends up back in our life." "Why? Kirk, why her?" Kirk's voice broke. "Because she's part of the story whether we like it or not." Rashida shook her head. "No, you make her part of it." The argument built slow, quiet, painful. Fans would never see this version of them, the silence between words, the hurt that didn't need to be shouted. Kirk walked inside, slammed the door, and within an hour, a neighbor had already recorded them arguing through the window. That clip, too, hit social media by evening. Atlanta had turned into one big stage, and no one could tell where the real show ended anymore. Jasmine was across town, sitting on her couch, phone in hand, scrolling through chaos. People had tagged her in thousands of posts, memes, edits, think pieces. She finally threw her phone aside and whispered, "This always happens." She got up, pacing. A knock came at the door. When she opened it, a Netflix producer stood there. Dana, the same woman from the night before. "We need to talk," Dana said. Jasmine's guard went up instantly. "About what?" "About what that video means for both of you," Dana replied. "And for the deal." Jasmine frowned. "Deal? What deal?" Dana looked at her seriously. "Netflix wants to keep it." As Jasmine processed those words, the camera in Karlie's leaked video, once just a secret recording, had become the centerpiece of a brand new offer. Netflix executives saw the numbers, the trending hashtags, the traffic spike. Controversy was currency, and they wanted to cash in. By nightfall, Karlie got a message from a Netflix publicist. "We need to talk about licensing your footage." She read it twice, her heart skipping. She texted back a single line, "Let's negotiate." But what she didn't know was that Rashida had already contacted her lawyer. The leaked video wasn't just gossip anymore, it was personal damage, defamation, invasion of privacy. And while the internet laughed, reposted, and speculated, inside the Frost household, the silence between husband and wife felt like an open wound. Kirk sat on the edge of the bed, phone in hand, staring at Jasmine's unread messages. Somewhere across town, Jasmine was doing the same. And in her apartment, Karlie poured herself a glass of wine, hit play on her own video, and whispered to the empty room, "Ratings, baby." Outside, Atlanta's night sky flickered with 1,000 screens, replaying the same 30 seconds over and over. Kirk's voice, Jasmine's fear, Karlie's smirk, 3 pieces of a story that had only just begun. The hallway lights flickered against the glass panels as Jasmine pushed the studio door open. Her heels clicked fast, sharp, every step echoing down the corridor like the end of something bigger than a meeting. Kirk followed a few seconds later, breath heavy, trying to keep his voice low. "Jasmine, wait, come on. Don't walk out like that. We not done talking." She didn't turn around. Cameras for a new Netflix concept show were stacked against the wall, red lights blinking, picking up every sound. She knew it. Maybe that's why she didn't answer. Karlie stood near the corner, pretending to scroll her phone, but her screen was already recording. Her lips curled into the kind of half-smile people get when they know the world's about to see what's been hiding in the dark. She whispered to herself, "This right here, gone break the internet." Inside the meeting room, producers murmured. Someone said Kirk's name under their breath. Another whispered Rashida. The air was electric, like a storm about to hit. Kirk's voice carried down the hall again, this time sharper. "You not gone, walk away from a deal we worked on for months, just 'cause you emotional." Jasmine turned back, eyes wet but steady. "Emotional? You kept this whole thing a secret from your wife, from the network, from everybody. You said this was business, but look at you losing control like it's something else." A production assistant peeked out of the doorway, pretending to look for coffee but really listening. Her eyes widened when she saw Karlie filming. She mouthed, "Girl, don't," but Karlie just raised a finger to her lips. She whispered, "This ain't gossip, this history." As Kirk and Jasmine's argument escalated, the studio door finally closed behind them. Only muffled voices now, fragments of sentences, contract, betrayal, Netflix series. The assistant ran off to text someone from the Love and Hip Hop crew. Within minutes, phones were buzzing all over Atlanta. People thought Kirk had landed a private show deal, but nobody knew Jasmine was involved. Meanwhile, Karlie leaned back against the wall, watching her clip. The frame was shaky but clear enough to show Kirk's face close to Jasmine's, the kind of closeness that starts rumors fast. She whispered, "Yup, that's the one," saved the file, and tucked her phone away like a loaded secret. Cut to the parking lot. Rashida's car, rolling up outside the Netflix gate. She had been told there was a surprise meeting, something Kirk wanted her to check out. She had no idea what kind of surprise was waiting. When she stepped out, the guard hesitated. "Mrs. Frost, they just wrapped. Folks a little heated in there." Rashida narrowed her eyes. Heated about what? Inside, Jasmine was pacing, wiping her makeup with the back of her hand. Kirk sat in a chair, silent now, phone buzzing nonstop. Messages from Karlie, from producers, from a few cast members already asking, "What's this deal you got with Jasmine?" He didn't answer. Jasmine finally said, "So that's it. You gonna let me take the fall when this blows up?" Kirk looked up slowly. "Ain't nobody taking no fall. We gon' control the story before it controls us." The door opened. Rashida walked in. No one said a word. Only the soft hum of the air conditioner filled the silence. Her eyes moved from Kirk to Jasmine, then to the documents on the table with the big red Netflix logo. She said calmly, "Control what story?" Kirk froze. Jasmine turned her head away. Rashida walked to the table, picked up one of the folders, and flipped through the pages. It was a show pitch, Second Chances. A reality reboot of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Creator, Kirk Frost. Co-creator, Jasmine Washington. Rashida's hand stopped mid-page. "Co-creator," she repeated quietly. Nobody answered. She set the papers down and looked straight at Kirk. "You mean to tell me the man who said he done with all that TV mess got a new deal behind my back end with her?" Kirk sighed. "Babe, it's not what it looks like." Rashida laughed once, short and bitter. "It never is." Karlie's phone buzzed in her hand outside. She saw Rashida's face through the glass wall and whispered, "Lord, it's about to go down." The next few minutes were chaos. Rashida's voice rose. Jasmine tried to speak. Kirk tried to keep the peace. But words cut deeper than quiet. Rashida said, "I stood by you when people dragged our marriage on national TV. And now you sitting in here signing papers with the same woman that broke our home." Jasmine snapped back. "He came to me with a business plan, Rashida, not a love letter. Don't twist it." Rashida's eyes blazed. "Oh please, you've been twisting stories since day one." The producer who'd been watching from the door whispered to another crew member, "We need to get cameras in there now." But before they could move, security stepped in. The head of Netflix publicity, a woman named Diane, arrived with a clipboard and calm authority. "Okay, let's cool down. We don't need another headline today." Kirk stood up, rubbing his forehead. "Too late for that," he muttered. Diane frowned. "What do you mean too late?" Kirk didn't answer, but Karlie's hand was already sliding her phone into her purse. The clip had been uploaded to her private cloud 10 minutes ago. The internet just didn't know it yet. The scene shifted to Karlie's car later that evening. Her friend on the speaker said, "You sure you want to post it?" "That's nuclear." Karlie leaned back in her seat, looking at the studio lights fading behind her. "Baby, sometimes the truth gotta explode before people believe it." She hit upload. By midnight, the clip was everywhere. Blogs ran with headlines like "Kirk Frost caught in secret," "Netflix meeting with Jasmine Washington and Rashida blindsided by leaked footage." Fans flooded the comments. "Not again. Kirk. Karlie, messy, but we needed this tea. Rashida deserves better." Rashida woke up to hundreds of notifications. Her phone screen was a storm of betrayal. Kirk's voice echoed faintly in the background of the clip. "You not gone walk away from a deal we worked on for months." The internet turned it into memes, sound bites, remixes. The damage was done. In the morning, Kirk tried to call her. No answer. Jasmine stayed silent on social media. But Karlie, she was already doing interviews. "I didn't mean to stir nothing," she told one host, pretending innocence. "I just think the fans deserve transparency. We all family, at the end of the day." By noon, the story reached TMZ. Netflix released a statement saying no official production has been confirmed, but insiders whispered otherwise. Somebody inside the company leaked that Kirk had pitched a docuseries about rebuilding relationships after public scandal. Irony at its finest. At Rashida's boutique later that day, her best friend Charlene came over. "Girl, I saw that clip. Tell me it's fake." Rashida just stared out the window. "I wish I could." She finally turned around, voice steady but tired. "You know what hurts? Not the deal, not even the girl. It's that he did it again, thinking I wouldn't find out." Charlene said softly, "You always find out." In another part of the city, Kirk sat alone at a coffee shop, hoodie up, scrolling through comments that felt like daggers. A barista recognized him but didn't say a word. He looked up briefly at the TV, over-the-counter entertainment. Tonight was running the story. Jasmine's picture next to his. The caption, "Secret Netflix meeting, leaked Karlie Red spills everything." He closed his eyes and whispered, "Karlie, why you always gotta start fires?" The answer, of course, was simple, because fire gets views. The sun barely hit Atlanta before the phones started ringing. Production teams, gossip pages, even old cast members who swore they were done with the drama were suddenly wide awake. The clip of Kirk and Jasmine in that Netflix room had hit over 2 million views overnight. Comments poured in faster than Kirk could delete them. "Not the Netflix edition of Heartbreak," one wrote. "Bro can't stay loyal even on streaming," another said. Memes of Kirk holding Netflix popcorn buckets spread like wildfire. Rashida stayed off her phone, but the world wouldn't leave her alone. Her sister called first. "Girl, you seen Twitter?" Then Mimi texted, "I told you that man never learns." By noon, she walked into her boutique wearing sunglasses, head high, pretending everything was fine. But inside, she was boiling. A customer whispered to another, "That's her. That's Rashida from the clip." And she felt the room tighten around her. Meanwhile, Kirk's manager had called an emergency meeting with the Netflix executives. The same room where the fight broke out now looked like a crime scene. Coffee cups everywhere, papers scattered. Diane, the Netflix publicist, sat at the head of the table, calm but clearly irritated. "This leak has jeopardized everything," she said, flipping through a folder of screenshots. "Karlie Red has turned your pilot pitch into a scandal. We can't associate with mess like this." Kirk leaned forward, voice low. "It wasn't supposed to go public. Somebody set us up." Diane raised an eyebrow. "You mean the woman who filmed you?" Jasmine shifted in her seat, eyes darting away. Kirk shot her a quick look, not of anger, but disappointment. "We can fix this," he said. Diane sighed. "The only way to fix this is to own the story. Give it context before the blogs twist it further." Jasmine spoke up quietly. "Context. They already think I'm the problem." Kirk looked at her. "They think we both the problem." Cut to Karlie, sitting in a radio studio, laughing with the hosts. "Look, I ain't saying nothing that ain't true," she said into the mic. "If y'all caught me in that situation, I'd want somebody to tell me to." The host laughed. "You always got the tea, Karlie." She winked. "That's why they keep me around." Behind her smile though, she could feel the pressure. Producers were calling, asking if she'd sign off for the clip to be used in upcoming promos. She said yes, of course, she said yes. That night, a news storm started online. Fans noticed something strange in the leaked video on the wall behind Kirk and Jasmine, a reflection, a woman's reflection. It was Karlie, so she was there the whole time. People tweeted, "She planned this." Someone even slowed the video down and posted a zoomed-in version with red circles. The comments section exploded. By midnight, hashtag #KARLIE setup was trending. Memes everywhere, people calling her ATL's secret agent. She went live on Instagram, trying to defend herself. "Y'all crazy," she said, laughing too hard. "I wasn't hiding. I was just there for support." But the internet wasn't buying it. The comment count shot past 50,000. "You sneaky, you love chaos. You need a spin-off called Karlie's Confessions." The next day, Rashida finally broke her silence. She posted a single line on Instagram. "Some people build empires, some people build lies." Within minutes, it had 500,000 likes. Jasmine saw it and threw her phone down. "She acting like I ruined her life when I was just working," she muttered. Kirk, sitting across from her, rubbed his temples. "The more you talk, the worse it gets. Let's just stay quiet till it blows over." Jasmine glared at him. "You said that the last time too." Across town, at a small cafe, Mimi and Ari gathered for lunch. Both had been watching the chaos unfold from a safe distance. "I knew Karlie couldn't keep that phone in her purse," Mimi said. Ari smirked. "She addicted to drama, but Kirk, Man, he really risked his marriage again. Mimi leaned closer. You think Rashida done for good this time? Ari shrugged. Depends, if Netflix still got that check waiting. They laughed, but the undertone was real money always brought people back together on that show. Meanwhile, Netflix had a decision to make. Their legal team debated whether to cancel the deal or spin it into a full docuseries about the fallout. Audiences love authenticity. One exec argued, this is messy, but it's real. Another shot back, it's also a liability. That leak violated multiple NDAs. By evening, word leaked out again Netflix wasn't pulling the plug. Instead, they were fast-tracking the concept under a new title, ATL Rewind. The fallout. The moment the news dropped, social media lost its mind. Not Netflix turning a scandal into a storyline, one fan wrote. This about to be the best season yet. Karlie went live again, spinning it as a win. See, I told y'all. Everything happens for a reason. We bringing real stories, real pain, real healing. Jasmine saw the clip and threw a pillow across the room. Healing, she shouted. Girl, you caused half this mess. Rashida, sitting at home watching the chaos, said nothing. She just stared at her TV as promo headlines flashed across the entertainment channels. Kirk's face, Jasmine's face, hers. A triangle the internet refused to let die. Finally, she whispered to herself, if they want a show, I'll give them one. She picked up her phone and called the producer of Love and Hip Hop. Put me in the next episode, she said. I got something to say. The next scene cut to a private set, dim lights. Cameras ready. Rashida sitting in the confession chair. Her makeup was flawless. Her voice calm but heavy. People think they know my story, she began. They don't. They see 15 seconds on a clip and think that's my life. But what they don't see is the pain behind every headline. The producer asked, so what do you want to say to Kirk? She looked straight into the lens. You broke my trust twice. And now the world watching to see if I stay. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But one thing's for sure, I won't let nobody else write my story. As she stood up, the music swelled. That familiar love and hip-hop beat rolling under her words. The screen cut to black with the words, to be continued. But in real life, nothing had ended. Netflix's statement hit Twitter minutes later. Production on ATL Rewind begins next week. Kirk reposted it with a short caption. The truth always finds light. Jasmine reposted with a heart emoji. And Karlie, she simply wrote, you're welcome. The comment sections divided overnight. Half the fans called Karlie a snake, half called her a genius. The rest just wanted to see what would happen next. Atlanta felt smaller that week. Every party, every lounge, every corner conversation came back to the same question. Who leaked it, and what was real? One journalist summed it up best on a gossip podcast. In this city, she said, truth don't trend unless someone bleeds first. Production started faster than anyone expected. Within 3 days, the Netflix studio in Midtown was alive again. Cameras, lighting rigs, assistants running around with clipboards. Karlie walked in first, styled to perfection, pretending she didn't notice the whispers. You see her? One crew member murmured. That's the one who leaked it. She smiled like she owned the place. In her mind, she did. Rashida arrived next. All black outfit, shades, no smile. She didn't even glance at Karlie. Jasmine came later, trying to keep a low profile, baseball cap pulled down, but nothing about her presence was quiet. Kirk followed behind her, keeping distance, but the cameras caught it. They always did. The first day of shooting was chaos. Producers wanted tension, not peace. Let's get them all in one room, one whispered, and see what happens. So they did. A long conference table, cameras rolling, every face waiting for someone to crack. Karlie broke the silence. So we just gone act like nothing happened, she said, flipping her hair. Rashida's voice was low but sharp. The only thing that happened was you needing attention. Karlie laughed. Girl, please. If I wanted attention, I'd have tagged you. Jasmine rolled her eyes. You basically did. Kirk sat still, hands clasped, trying to control the fire. We here to move forward, not tear each other down, he said. But Karlie leaned closer, her tone dripping with sarcasm. Move forward, baby. The internet already moved. They moved right over you. Laughter broke around the table. Kirk's jaw tightened. Rashida didn't laugh. She stood up slowly. You think this funny? Karlie shrugged. I think it's TV. That line echoed across social media hours later, when a clip leaked from the filming set. I think it's TV. Fans quoted it everywhere, saying Karlie had no remorse, that she was born for chaos. Memes popped up again. Netflix couldn't have paid for better promo. As days went on, the tension only grew. Jasmine started avoiding everyone except Kirk, and even that was strained. One afternoon, while waiting to film a confessional, she caught two producers whispering. Rashida agreed to shoot a solo scene. One said, "She's finally ready to talk about Kirk." Jasmine's stomach dropped. She stormed to Kirk's dressing room. "She about to drag you on camera," she said. Kirk sighed. "Let her talk. I can't stop her." Jasmine's eyes narrowed. "So you just gone, let her make me the villain." Kirk looked at her. "Jasmine, you made yourself the villain when you showed up that night." She froze. "Wow, you really said that?" The argument carried out of the room, loud enough for a mic to catch it. By evening, another leak surfaced on audio clip of Jasmine yelling, "You used me for your comeback." That alone was enough to restart the fire online. Fans began taking sides again. Some said Jasmine was manipulated. Others said she knew exactly what she was doing. Either way, the comments flooded in. This season better win awards. Meanwhile, Rashida sat with Mimi in her backyard. Cameras rolling but energy calm. "I ain't perfect," she said. "I've made mistakes too. But I learned you can't heal while still standing next to the person who hurt you." Mimi nodded. "So what you gon' do?" Rashida looked straight into the camera. "I'm finally gone, choose me." It was the quietest line of the season, but somehow, the loudest. Later that night, Kirk scrolled through the reactions online. #ChooseRashida was trending. Every clip, every comment, every edit turned him into the man who couldn't change. He turned off his phone, leaned back, and said under his breath, "They really don't know half the story." Jasmine overheard him. "Then tell them," she said. "Tell them what really happened." Kirk didn't answer. He just stared out the hotel window, Atlanta lights flickering below. 2 days later, Netflix released the official teaser for Atal Rewind. It was 30 seconds long. Rashida walking away from Kirk, Jasmine crying in a confessional, Karlie smirking, and over it all, a voiceover. "In a city where loyalty costs more than fame, everyone's got a price." The trailer hit 1 million views in 6 hours. Every cast member's follower count skyrocketed, but behind the glam, nothing was fixed. In one quiet moment off camera, Rashida ran into Karlie backstage. The room went silent. No cameras this time. Just two women who had shared too many years of both friendship and betrayal. "You really thought leaking that was cute?" Rashida asked. Karlie hesitated. "I thought you deserved to know." Rashida shook her head. "No, you thought the world deserved to watch." Karlie's voice softened. "Same thing, ain't it?" Neither of them spoke after that, but that small exchange made its way back to producers, and by next week, they were planning a reunion episode to bring everyone face to face, under the lights. "We need closure," one producer said. Or, at least, the illusion of it. As filming wrapped that day, Kirk walked alone through the empty studio halls. He passed the mirror in the makeup room, caught his reflection, and muttered, "Every season, same story." Behind him, a production assistant whispered to another, "He's already talking about next season." Outside, paparazzi were waiting. Cameras flashed. Someone shouted, "Kirk, you and Jasmine still together." He ignored it, but Jasmine, trailing behind, couldn't help herself. "Why don't you ask Karlie?" she snapped. The reporters ate it up, microphones thrust forward, everyone shouting at once. It was chaos, beautiful, marketable chaos. By the end of that week, ATL Rewind hadn't even premiered, and Netflix already greenlit a follow-up special. Fans begged for sneak peeks, for bonus footage, for more leaks. Karlie gave them just that. She went live again, grinning into the camera. "This season ain't even started, and y'all already obsessed. Imagine what happens next." The comments flooded with theories. Karlie got more clips. Rashida gonna expose Kirk on the reunion. Jasmine might drop her own footage. The entire city felt caught in a loop, every truth answered by a new lie. Every lie filmed in 4000. And through it all, Karlie sat in her dressing room, scrolling, smiling. "They think I'm messy," she whispered to herself. "Nah, baby, I'm magic." Before Jasmine could even catch her breath, the heavy studio doors slammed behind her. She turned just in time to see Karlie stepping out from behind the hallway column. Phone still in her hand, screen glowing faintly with the evidence she had just captured. Jasmine froze. Karlie's smile wasn't wide, it was slow and deliberate. The kind of look that said she knew she had just set fire to an empire. "Well, well, well," Karlie said softly. "Netflix deals, huh? And all this time Rashida thinking you moved on." Jasmine's voice shook. "You don't know what you saw." But Karlie tilted her head. "Baby, I saw enough to end marriages and start careers." Kirk came out seconds later, his voice low, frustrated. "Jasmine, we not doing this. Then he stopped. His eyes landed on Karlie. The color drained from his face. The silence stretched between all three until even the hum of the studio lights sounded loud. Kirk took a slow step forward. "You need to hand me that phone right now." Karlie chuckled, backing up. "Oh, I will." To the producers. "Maybe 2 TMZ, depends how generous I feel tonight." Jasmine felt her knees weaken. "Karlie, please. You don't understand. This wasn't what it looked like," but Karlie's tone turned sharp. "Girl, every lie in this industry starts with that line. You think you're the first one to whisper it?" Kirk reached out, but Karlie moved too fast, slipping the phone into her bag and strutting down the hall. "Try me," she tossed over her shoulder. "You'll both be trending by morning." Jasmine turned to Kirk, furious. "You told me this was off record. You said nobody would find out." Kirk clenched his fists. "And nobody was supposed to. Damn it. Who knew she'd be lurking?" Jasmine shook her head, pacing. "You should have never brought me here. You think I wanted to relive all this?" Kirk's voice softened. "You said you wanted closure." Jasmine's eyes filled with tears. "Closure? You call that closure? You called me because you wanted to feel relevant again, because Netflix wanted a storyline, and you needed something messy enough to sell." Kirk's jaw tightened. "That's not true." "Yes, it is," Jasmine shot back. "You don't miss me. You miss the drama." She turned toward the exit, eyes burning. "And now, you've got more than enough." Back in the main studio corridor, Karlie walked fast, phone buzzing in her purse as the clip uploaded to her cloud. Her heart raced. She knew what she had was explosive. She also knew Rashida's team would be at her throat once it dropped. But this was the kind of moment that could turn a reality show into a cultural earthquake. The next morning, Atlanta woke up to chaos. Every blog, every gossip page had the same headline. Exclusive, Kirk and Jasmine spotted together at Netflix headquarters. Hashtags exploded. Fans flooded the comments. Some refused to believe it, defending Rashida. Others swore they saw chemistry between Kirk and Jasmine even years ago. Twitter turned into a battleground. Kirk and Jasmine trended #1 before noon. At home, Rashida sat frozen on her couch, phone in hand, the clip replaying again and again. Her voice broke. "No. No way." Her assistant tried to calm her. "It could be edited." Rashida's hands trembled. "It's not edited. That's his jacket. That's his voice." Her son came downstairs, confused. "Mom, what happened?" Rashida quickly turned off the screen, forcing a smile. "Nothing, baby. Go back upstairs." But the truth had already taken root, spreading like wildfire. Within hours, producers started calling. The show's group chat lit up. Mimi, Erica, and Spice were all sending voice notes, each more dramatic than the last. Mimi said, "Girl, I told you that man never changes." Spice replied, "Nah, this is beyond messy, even for Kirk." Erica added, "If this clip is real, this season about to be pure chaos." Meanwhile, Jasmine sat alone in her car outside her apartment complex, her phone vibrating nonstop. She didn't answer. Every notification felt like a punch to the stomach. She scrolled through comments, people calling her a homewrecker again. Some saying she never learned, others accusing her of faking the whole thing for clout. "I didn't even leak it," she whispered. Tears blurred her vision. Kirk tried calling. She declined. When he tried again, she finally picked up, her voice trembling. "You happy now?" Kirk sounded exhausted. "No, I'm not happy. This ain't what I wanted." "Then what did you want, Kirk?" Jasmine snapped. "A secret that never stayed secret. A scandal to keep you trending. Because congratulations, you got both." Kirk sighed. "Listen, I'll fix it. I'll call Netflix. I'll talk to Rashida." Jasmine cut him off. "No, you won't. This time, you're not gonna drag me down with you." She hung up and threw the phone onto the passenger seat, burying her face in her hands. Miles away, Karlie sat in her dressing room, watching the chaos unfold. Her phone lit up with new messages from producers. One said, "We need you on camera ASAP. This is gold." She smirked. "Oh, I'll be there," she murmured, touching up her lipstick. When the cameras rolled later that evening, the studio was charged with energy. Everyone was waiting for Rashida to arrive. Kirk had already shown up, sunglasses hiding his eyes, avoiding everyone's stares. Jasmine wasn't there yet. Erica leaned over to Spice. "You think Rashida gonna show?" Spice shrugged. "She always shows. She built this show. She's not about to let them break her on camera." The doors opened. Rashida walked in, chin high, face unreadable. Every head turned. The room fell silent. Kirk took off his glasses. "Rash," she raised a hand. "Don't." Even the producers didn't dare interrupt. The air felt heavy. "You embarrassed me," Rashida said quietly. Again, after everything we built, everything I forgave. Kirk tried to speak, but she cut him off. You know what the worst part is? I didn't even need to see the clip. I felt it. The distance. The coldness. I just didn't want to admit it. Tears glistened in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. I've stood by you through things that would have broken most women. Kirk stepped closer. I know, and that's why I'm sorry. I messed up. But that meeting wasn't what they think it was. Rashida's voice cracked. Then what was it? Kirk hesitated, glancing at the cameras. It was business. Rashida laughed bitterly. Business at a closed studio room. Business that got you holding Jasmine's hand. Jasmine's voice came from behind them. Because I begged him to help me. Everyone turned. She had just walked in, makeup smudged, voice shaking. I asked him for help with a deal. Not for attention. Not for headlines. I was desperate. Rashida stared at her. And you couldn't find anyone else? Jasmine whispered. Nobody else would listen. The producers exchanged glances, sensing the tension crackling. Karlie watched from the sidelines, phone camera subtly recording every word. She didn't expect Jasmine to break down though. I messed up my career, Jasmine said softly. Nobody hires me because of my name. I thought if I could get Netflix to see me as more than a scandal, maybe I'd get another chance. Her voice broke. That's all it was. Kirk looked at Rashida. You see, it wasn't like that. But Rashida's eyes didn't soften. You still kept it from me? Kirk nodded. Because I knew how it would look. She crossed her arms. And how does it look now? Silence. Cameras zoomed in. Everyone was watching. The air so thick it felt like it could burst. Jasmine turned away, wiping her eyes. I'm sorry, Rashida. For real. Rashida didn't respond. Karlie finally stepped forward, trying to sound casual. Well, since everyone's getting honest tonight, maybe we should thank me for bringing it to light. Rashida turned her gaze on Karlie, cold and sharp. You love breaking people, don't you? Karlie smirked. I love the truth. Rashida took a step closer, lowering her voice. The truth isn't what you recorded. The truth is what's left when the cameras stop rolling. Karlie blinked, momentarily thrown off. Kirk watched the two women face off, knowing whatever happened next would decide everything for his marriage, for the show, and for every headline waiting to drop the next morning. The tension didn't ease as the cameras kept rolling. Rashida's eyes never left Karlie, but her attention shifted slightly to Kirk and Jasmine, calculating every word, every movement. You both think this is just drama for the cameras, she said slowly, voice cold, deliberate, but the truth is it's our lives. And some of us are tired of watching our mistakes broadcast like entertainment. Kirk opened his mouth, tried to speak, but Rashida held up her hand. Not now. Save it for the confessionals. Tonight, I want honesty from everyone, or this ends. Jasmine swallowed hard, her jaw tight, looking down at her hands. I just wanted a chance to prove myself, she whispered. Kirk stepped forward, voice low, almost pleading. Rashida, I promise, nothing happened that you didn't see. Rashida shook her head slowly, tears brimming. You don't understand. The problem isn't what I saw. It's that I had to find out from someone else. The words cut like knives. Karlie, sensing the shift in energy, adjusted her stance, phone tucked safely, recording but keeping it subtle. So, everyone's secret's out now, she said, tone light, almost teasing. Or are we just getting started? A producer stepped in, whispering urgently, trying to manage the moment. Cameras tilted slightly, capturing the raw confrontation in cinematic detail. Rashida ignored him, her gaze fierce. Karlie, you enjoy chaos, don't you? Karlie smirked. No, I enjoy reality. And tonight, reality's winning. Kirk sighed, rubbing his forehead, feeling the weight of everyone's eyes. Jasmine finally looked up, voice shaky but firm. This isn't just about the show anymore. It's about us, and what people think they know. And right now, I don't know who to believe. Rashida took a slow, steady breath. Believe me, she said, or don't. I've been hurt before. I won't be hurt again for the sake of ratings. Kirk's hands fell to his sides. He wanted to explain, to fix, to reason, but Rashida's eyes told him it was too late for words. Karlie tilted her head, sensing the climax of the scene, and quietly whispered to herself, This is golden. The room fell silent, except for the faint hum of cameras and the low murmur of production staff. The three of them, Rashida, Kirk, and Jasmine, stood in a triangle of tension. Every second captured, every movement amplified. Finally, Rashida broke the silence. If anyone's going to survive this, it's not the person who hides. It's the person who faces it. She turned sharply toward the camera. And I'm ready. The moment was electric. Fans who had already seen the leaked clips and snippets on social media would later describe it as one of the most intense confrontations in reality TV history. Kirk looked at her, a mix of fear and respect in his eyes. Jasmine's shoulders shook. Tears threatened to spill again. Karlie, for once, had nothing to say. She simply observed, knowing she had captured something no one would forget. The night stretched on, confessions, accusations, and apologies flowing, raw and unfiltered. Every phrase, every gesture would become a soundbite, a clip to be dissected online, trending within hours. And somewhere between the lights and the cameras, Rashida realized that power wasn't in hiding mistakes, it was in controlling how and when they were revealed. The cameras caught every inch of it. Every fan watching from home would later feel as if they were right there, trapped in the tension of a room that contained years of betrayal, love, and rivalry, all converging in a single, unforgettable night. As the night deepened, the studio lights dimmed slightly, casting long shadows across the polished floors. The reunion had shifted from a simple setup into a battlefield of emotions. Rashida leaned against the wall, arms crossed, silent but alert, watching Kirk and Jasmine with an intensity that could cut glass. Kirk, sweating slightly under the pressure, shifted from foot to foot, occasionally glancing at the cameras as if pleading for them to stop recording. Jasmine sat on the edge of a leather couch, hands trembling, whispering to herself, "This is insane. Just insane." Karlie, standing nearby with her phone discreetly recording, smirked as she watched the tension unfold. She knew she had orchestrated a perfect storm. But even she hadn't anticipated the raw, unfiltered emotion pouring from Rashida. "Oh, they're good," she muttered under her breath. "Better than TV." The producers tried to intervene, offering gentle prompts and encouraging everyone to sit down. But Rashida shook her head. "No, we do this standing. We do this like adults, like we're not afraid of each other, because we shouldn't be." Kirk took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. "Rashida, he began, but Rashida held up a finger. "Save it, just be honest, every word, no lies, no hiding behind excuses." The cameras rolled, capturing every pause, every glance, every subtle shift in emotion. Jasmine finally spoke, voice low but determined. "I didn't expect any of this to get out. I wanted a chance to prove myself, to be more than the scandal everyone remembers me for. I didn't come here to break anyone, not Rashida, not Kirk. I wanted to be seen." The words hung in the air. Rashida's eyes softened slightly, but only slightly. She nodded once, acknowledging the confession without letting it dissolve her anger. Kirk stepped closer to Rashida, voice almost inaudible. "I never wanted you to find out this way. I never wanted any of this to hurt you." Rashida's jaw tightened. "Kirk, every time you say that, it's just words. Tonight, I want actions. I want truth." The tension peaked when Karlie subtly pushed her advantage. She raised her phone just slightly, pretending to check messages, but the camera caught Kirk's reaction. His eyes flicked to her, a mixture of panic and realization. "Karlie, what are you doing?" he whispered. She smiled faintly, capturing reality. "Kirk, nothing more." Rashida took a slow step toward Kirk. "Look at me," she commanded. Kirk met her gaze, unable to look away. "You've been hiding behind excuses, behind everyone else, for too long. Tonight, we're stripping it all away. Do you understand?" Kirk nodded, swallowing hard. "I understand." The raw vulnerability in his voice made the moment even heavier. Jasmine, feeling both guilty and defensive, interjected softly. "I didn't make him do anything. I came to ask for help." "I never wanted." Rashida cut her off sharply. "Save it, Jasmine. Tonight isn't about you asking for anything. It's about them. It's about us. And about the choices we all made." The room fell silent. Even the production crew paused, sensing that this was no ordinary filming session. Hours passed like minutes. Confessions spilled, tears were shed, and tempers flared. Every revelation layered onto the next, creating a storm that no one could contain. The cameras captured it all. Kirk's guilt, Jasmine's desperation, Rashida's strength, Karlie's calculated observance. Each frame would later become viral content, dissected, memed, and debated across every social platform. Finally, Rashida spoke, voice firm but exhausted. "We're not perfect, none of us. But tonight we face the truth. And when this is over, we decide what's real, what's fake, and who we really are." Kirk's shoulders sagged, relief and fear mingling in equal measure. Jasmine nodded slowly, her face wet with tears, whispering, I just want to do right." Karlie lowered her phone, satisfied. The chaos she had created wasn't malicious, which was unavoidable. She had simply pulled back the curtain, revealing the raw human drama everyone had been waiting for. Rashida, Kirk, and Jasmine were now fully exposed, not just to each other, but to the world. As the night ended, the trio left the studio with heavy hearts and racing minds. The reunion had achieved what no one expected. Every secret, every emotion, every fracture had been aired. Outside, fans waited for glimpses, rumors already swirling, theories forming and inside, the cast understood one undeniable truth: nothing would ever be the same again. The cameras stopped rolling, but the drama was far from over. Every glance, every word, every leak would ripple through social media, interviews, and future episodes. Atlanta's reality TV landscape had been reshaped in one night, and the world watched, hungry for the next twist, the next confrontation, the next revelation. And somewhere in the shadows, Karlie smiled, knowing she had just become the architect of history. The following morning, the city woke up to chaos that not even Atlanta's most seasoned gossip blogs could have predicted. Every major social media platform was ablaze with hashtags. Kirk and Jasmine, hashtag Rashida Exposed, hashtag Netflix drama, hashtag Karlie leaks. Fans replayed the leaked clip over and over, dissecting every glance, every gesture, every micro-expression. Meme accounts exploded overnight, turning Kirk's awkward sidestep and Jasmine's tearful confession into viral imagery, while Rashida's piercing stare became the emblem of betrayal and resilience. Karlie, sitting in a high-rise apartment sipping coffee, scrolled through the trending pages, her smirk widening. She had expected a stir, yes, but this was a full-blown spectacle, a cultural earthquake. By mid-morning, producers were scrambling. The reunion episode, originally scripted as a mild confrontation, had turned into raw, uncut reality. Behind closed doors, executives argued about whether to air the footage, ASIs, or re-edit for damage control. One producer shouted, "If we don't air this, someone else will leak it, and we lose control." Another countered, but the backlash could destroy the show. Rashida's fans are vicious, and Kirk's reputation is on the line. The tension mirrored what had occurred on set: emotions, stakes, and egos all colliding at once. Kirk, meanwhile, was holed up in his downtown loft, pacing the hardwood floors, phone in hand, reading the online frenzy. Comments ranged from supportive to savage. One read, "He's so stupid. How do you hide this from Rashida?" Another said, "Jasmine's just playing the victim, but I see the spark between them." He ran his hands through his hair, muttering, "This is insane. Insane." He tried calling Jasmine, but her phone went straight to voicemail. Finally, he sent a text, "We need to talk. Private, now." Jasmine, still reeling from the confrontation, refused to answer. She sat on her apartment floor, laptop open, replaying the scene in her mind. Her hands shook as she scrolled through comments and tweets. Some praising her courage, others condemning her for breaking up a marriage. Her phone buzzed again, another call from Karlie. Jasmine ignored it. But Karlie's voicemail was calm, almost teasing. "Relax, girl. It's not about who wins or loses. It's about who gets remembered. And trust me, you are unforgettable." By noon, Rashida had emerged from her private suite to address the media. A small group of reporters clustered outside her building, cameras rolling. She stepped forward, chin high, eyes sharp. "I've seen the clips, I've heard the commentary, and I am not here to explain my marriage or my choices to anyone," she said firmly. "What happened behind closed doors stays behind closed doors unless someone else decides to broadcast it. To them, I say, enjoy your 15 minutes. The rest of us are living our lives." Flashes popped. Questions were shouted, but she walked back inside, leaving chaos in her wake. Meanwhile, Karlie had uploaded the full clip to her private channel. Teaser trailers and snippets already circulating across platforms. Within hours, fan pages, gossip channels, and influencers were dissecting every moment. Split screens compared body language, close-ups of hand placements, and eyebrow raises. Fans debated endlessly. Did Kirk hesitate too long? Did Jasmine's tears appear genuine or calculated? Was Rashida's anger a shield for hidden pain? The frenzy reached fever pitch, with millions watching, sharing, and commenting in real time. In the private quarters of the Netflix studio, producers convened emergency meetings. Footage from previous shoots was reviewed to predict how audiences would react to upcoming episodes. Every scene was analyzed under a microscope: wardrobe choices, lighting, camera angles. One producer remarked, "The authenticity here is insane. Viewers can feel the tension, the betrayal, it's electric." Another shook his head, muttering, "I've never seen anything like this. If we air this, ratings will break every record." Kirk, desperate to regain control, arranged a secret meeting with Jasmine at a small, secluded cafe in Midtown. The windows were tinted. The baristas knew nothing of the drama unfolding beyond their doors. Kirk arrived first, slumped over in his seat, coffee cooling untouched. When Jasmine walked in, eyes red-rimmed, he looked up. "We need to talk," he said quietly. She sat down across from him, arms folded. Silence stretched. Finally, Kirk said, Everything, it's spinning out of control. We can't let it define us." Jasmine scoffed. "And what? We pretend it didn't happen. Act like Rashida doesn't exist. Like the cameras aren't watching every move?" Kirk ran a hand over his face. "No. We figure out what's real, what's truth. We fix this before someone else leaks more." The discussion was tense, charged with unspoken emotions. Kirk tried to explain. The meeting at Netflix wasn't what people think. It was about contracts, scripts, potential spin-offs, nothing more. Jasmine's lip quivered. And yet Karlie caught it. "She's got the footage. You think anyone will believe that after everything we've seen? Fans, bloggers, social media, they're all hungry for drama. They won't care about your excuses." Kirk leaned back, frustration evident. "Then we tell the truth together. No more hiding, no more secrets." Jasmine's eyes met his. The trust, fragile and frayed, trembled on the edge of a knife. As the conversation unfolded, the world outside continued to react. Fan theories evolved into storylines, each iteration more dramatic than the last. Meme pages spun narratives, suggesting secret alliances, betrayals, and future confrontations. The leaked clip became a cultural phenomenon. Late-night talk shows ran segments analyzing the trio's interactions frame by frame. Pundits speculated about future episodes, hinting at possible confrontations, reconciliations, or shocking reveals. That evening, Rashida held a private gathering with close friends and confidants. The room buzzed with tension. "I knew something was off," she confessed, voice low, "but I didn't expect it to explode like this." One friend, sipping wine, said, "You're handling it better than anyone would." "But what about Kirk? What about Jasmine?" Rashida shook her head. "Let them face the consequences. I'll handle myself. It's what I've always done." Her resolve hardened, eyes glinting with determination. "If they want a war, fine, but it's my rules now." By midnight, Karlie's uploads had reached over 1 million views. Clips were everywhere, and the backlash, the support, and the curiosity created a perfect storm. She leaned back, phone in hand, scrolling through analytics with a grin. "This is how legends are made," she whispered. The aftermath was only beginning. The leaked footage had not only exposed hidden meetings but had reignited old tensions, forced confrontations, and set the stage for even greater drama. Social media remained electric, fans demanding answers, more leaks, and the next confrontation. Kirk, Jasmine, and Rashida were now locked in a triangle of power, emotion, and public scrutiny, each move under microscopic observation. As the night faded into the early hours, the city slept uneasily. Everyone involved knew one undeniable truth: nothing would ever be the same. The secret Netflix studio meeting had become a spectacle far beyond their control. And the ripple effects were just beginning. Viewers worldwide would wake up to new revelations, fan theories, and the unrelenting drama that would define the season and perhaps the careers of all involved. And somewhere, Karlie Red smiled, knowing she had just written the opening chapter of a story that would dominate headlines, trend for weeks, and leave every viewer glued to their screens, hungry for more. The stage was set, the players revealed, and the drama was far from over. The following days unfolded like a carefully scripted reality TV thriller. But nothing was scripted. Every move, every glance, every message carried the weight of unscripted consequence. Social media didn't sleep, and neither did the fandom. Hashtags trended globally. Hashtag RASHEED, A stands. Hashtag Kirk and Jasmine exposed. Hashtag KAR lies leak. Hashtag Netflix drama. Influencers dissected the leaked clip from every angle, splitting screens, zooming on debating tone and intent, leaving fans arguing in comment sections that stretched for pages. Inside the industry, the leak became a case study in viral content, demonstrating that even a single behind-the-scenes recording could ripple into millions of interactions within hours. Karlie, meanwhile, was basking in the chaos she'd quietly unleashed. Sitting in her studio, reviewing analytics, she could see viewership doubling every hour. "This is perfection," she whispered, knowing that the tension, raw and unfiltered, was worth more than any pre-planned storyline could ever achieve. But she wasn't the only one strategizing. Producers, lawyers, and publicists moved quickly, trying to control damage while also riding the wave of attention. Phone calls buzzed nonstop, urgent, anxious, frantical, demanding rapid decisions, revisions, and damage control statements. Kirk and Jasmine had disappeared from public view after the initial storm. Paparazzi lurked outside every known location, hoping for a glimpse of reconciliation, argument, or breakdown. The leaked footage had ignited speculation about secret alliances, behind-the-scenes negotiations, and potential betrayals. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, as fans debated everything from body language to wardrobe choices, constructing elaborate theories about motives and future actions. Kirk, sitting alone in his apartment, scrolled through countless social media threads. His phone buzzed incessantly with messages from fans, friends, and production staff. Some offered support, others accused him of manipulation and betrayal. He ran a hand through his hair, muttering, "This is worse than I imagined. Every move is scrutinized." Finally, he called Jasmine, hoping to align their stories before speculation spiraled further. She answered reluctantly, voice cautious. "What do you want, Kirk?" He sighed, "To fix this before it gets completely out of control. We need to tell the truth." Together, Jasmine remained silent, weighing trust against the risk of further exposure. Meanwhile, Rashida capitalized on the media frenzy. She conducted a brief, controlled interview with a popular gossip network. Cameras focused on her face, capturing every glimmer of emotion. "I've said what I need to say," she stated firmly. "The rest is speculation, and speculation doesn't define me. I stand by my truth." Flashes popped relentlessly as reporters shouted questions, trying to provoke a reaction. Rashida's composure remained intact, though her inner turmoil was palpable. She knew public opinion could shift in moments, and every word, every gesture would be dissected. At the same time, the leaked footage created a domino effect. Production staff at Netflix convened emergency meetings to discuss the fallout. Executives debated whether to air the reunion episode unedited, fearing backlash, or re-edit it to mitigate controversy. Some argued, the raw emotion is a ratings goldmine. Others countered, it could destroy careers if people interpret it wrong. The debate mirrored the real-life tension among the cast. Honesty versus perception. Truth versus narrative. Emotion versus strategy. Karlie continued her quiet orchestration from behind the scenes. She released teaser snippets of previously unseen footage, glimpses of whispered conversations, tense pauses, and subtle gestures that hinted at deeper conflicts. Fans dissected every frame, creating theories about secret plots, hidden alliances, and potential reconciliations. The frenzy was global, with viewers from multiple time zones tuning in obsessively, watching, discussing, and predicting the next move. Kirk and Jasmine finally met again at a secluded studio office, away from cameras. The room was dimly lit, tension hanging thick in the air. Kirk spoke first, voice low but urgent. "This isn't just about us anymore. It's bigger. The fans, the leaks, the speculation, it's spinning out of control. We need a plan." Jasmine nodded, though her eyes were wary. "A plan? For what? To convince them we're innocent?" Kirk shook his head. "No. To be honest, for once, to control the narrative before someone else does." The words hung heavy. Trust was fragile. One wrong phrase could ignite another social media wildfire. They debated, argued, and finally agreed on a joint statement, but not before rehearsing every word. They knew every syllable would be analyzed, every pause scrutinized, and any slip-up could be catastrophic. Meanwhile, Rashida's legal team prepared a counter-strategy, ready to protect her reputation while subtly leveraging the leak to reinforce her position as a strong, uncompromising figure. Outside, fans remained relentless. Fan cams, reaction videos, and meme accounts surged. Every action by the trio was immediately captured and repurposed for maximum virality. One particularly heated thread debated whether Kirk's hesitation during the Netflix studio meeting was guilt or strategic caution. Another highlighted Jasmine's body language, suggesting hidden emotions or calculated performance. Analysts on talk shows weighed in, using psychological terms, social media trends, and speculative storytelling, further fueling the frenzy. Over the next 48 hours, the narrative escalated. Rumors of secret meetings, behind-the-scenes alliances, and potential reconciliations flooded blogs, podcasts, and gossip outlets. Every insider source seemed to have a different angle, some claiming direct knowledge, others speculating wildly. The leaked footage had become a cultural event. eclipsing ordinary programming and dominating conversations across social media, coffee shops, and late-night discussions. Amidst this, Karlie maintained her quiet control, releasing carefully timed updates. Each clip, each snippet, was designed to amplify tension, spark debate, and maintain the viral momentum. She didn't comment publicly. Her presence was felt in every upload, every tease, every subtle hint at further revelations. The frenzy reached new heights when a new clip surfaced, showing a private moment in the studio, Kirk pacing, Jasmine whispering something urgent, and Rashida watching silently, her expression unreadable. The clip's timing was perfect, reigniting speculation and propelling hashtags back to the top of trending lists. The cast and crew understood one undeniable truth: nothing would ever be the same. The leaked footage had reshaped relationships, careers, and public perception. Every action, every word, every glance was now part of a living, breathing narrative that had taken on a life of its own. Fans were no longer passive observers, they were active participants, analyzing, theorizing, and influencing outcomes through sheer social pressure. As night fell again, Kirk sat alone, reflecting on the past week. He scrolled through threads, watched reaction videos, and considered his next moves. The weight of scrutiny was crushing, yet he knew any misstep could be irreversible. Jasmine, similarly isolated, rehearsed statements, reviewed footage, and planned carefully timed responses. Rashida, meanwhile, projected strength, navigating interviews and public appearances with poise, though inside, she was acutely aware that the slightest slip could unravel her carefully constructed image. And so, the drama continued, a relentless cycle of exposure, speculation, and reaction. The leaked Netflix studio meeting, once a private moment intended for planning and discussion, had transformed into a global spectacle, a cultural touchstone, and a story that would be dissected, debated, and remembered for years to come. Fans were captivated, producers exhilarated, and the cast caught in a whirlwind of emotion, consequence, and fame that showed no sign of slowing. Karlie, observing from the sidelines, knew this was only the beginning. She had ignited a firestorm, and the embers would burn long after the cameras stopped rolling, leaving a legacy of drama, intrigue, and viral sensation that few would ever forget. The stage was set, the players exposed, and the world watched, waiting for the next move, the next reveal, the next explosive twist that would define not just the season, but the lives of everyone involved. The days that followed escalated into a full-blown reality TV phenomenon, with every movement of Rashida, Kirk, and Jasmine dissected by millions of viewers. Social media buzzed relentlessly, the leaked Netflix studio footage fueling a wildfire of speculation, memes, and reaction videos. Hashtags like hashtag #RASHEEDA exposed, hashtag Kirk Jasmine leak, hashtag KARLIE shot clip, and hashtag behind the scenes drama dominated trending charts globally. Fans scoured every frame, freezing images to analyze facial expressions, hand gestures, and subtle shifts in body language, turning what was once a private studio meeting into a public spectacle that no one could ignore. Karlie, sitting in her high-rise apartment, monitored the chaos with a quiet smile. Analytics showed that viewership was climbing exponentially by the hour. She leaned back, knowing that the tension, raw and unscripted, was more potent than any planned storyline ever could be. She had carefully controlled the timing of the release, giving just enough to pique curiosity while leaving room for speculation and engagement. The frenzy she had ignited was global, stretching from Atlanta to New York, Los Angeles to London, with fans dissecting every word and every look. Kirk, isolated in his loft, scrolled through hundreds of thousands of comments on his social media accounts. Some messages offered support, others vilified him for perceived manipulation or betrayal. The weight of public scrutiny was suffocating. He tried calling Jasmine, but each attempt went unanswered, forcing him to send carefully worded texts. "We need to align our stories before this spins completely out of control. Honesty is the only way forward." Jasmine, still processing the events, remained wary. She knew one wrong phrase could reignite the firestorm, so she replied cautiously, "Fine, we talk, but only to figure out our truth, not to please anyone else." Rashida, meanwhile, maintained her composure publicly, while privately navigating a whirlwind of emotion. She appeared on a controlled media segment, cameras capturing every calculated expression. "I stand by my truth," she said firmly, chin high, eyes sharp. "The rest is speculation. Speculation doesn't define me, and it won't dictate my life." Flashes of light punctuated her statement as reporters shouted questions, attempting to provoke a reaction. Her calm exterior masked the storm inside, knowing that the public and fans would scrutinize her every word, every inflection. Inside Netflix production offices, executives and producers held emergency meetings. Footage from previous shoots was reviewed repeatedly, analyzing potential implications for the reunion episode. Debates raged over whether to air the footage as is, preserving its raw authenticity, or to re-edit, minimizing backlash. Some argued that airing the raw footage would drive unprecedented ratings, while others warned that careers could be irreparably damaged. The room mirrored the tension that had unfolded in the studio, emotion, ego, and high stakes colliding in an inescapable storm. Karlie continued to orchestrate from the background, releasing subtle teaser clips that hinted at more drama to come. These snippets included whispered conversations, furtive glances, and tense pauses, all designed to provoke speculation. Fans, glued to every frame, constructed elaborate theories about secret alliances, hidden betrayals, and future confrontations. The global frenzy reached fever pitch as audiences replayed the footage repeatedly, dissecting every nuance. Kirk and Jasmine, forced into private meetings to manage the fallout, met in a small, secluded location, away from prying eyes. The dim lighting matched the tension in the room. Kirk spoke first, his voice low and urgent. "This isn't just about us anymore. It's bigger than our story now. The fans, the leaks, the speculation, it's spinning out of control. We need a plan." Jasmine crossed her arms, wary and defensive. "A plan? To convince people we're innocent? They won't care about the truth, they only care about drama." Kirk leaned back, exhaling sharply. "No. The plan is honesty. For once, we control what's real before someone else does." Trust between them was fragile, but the weight of shared consequences demanded alignment. The discussion stretched for hours, punctuated by moments of silence heavy with unspoken emotion. Kirk tried to explain the intent behind the Netflix studio meeting. It wasn't what it looked like. It was about contracts, scripts, potential spin-offs, nothing more. Jasmine's eyes narrowed. And yet Karlie leaked it. Everyone saw it. Fans, bloggers, social media, they're all interpreting it. We can't control that now. Kirk shook his head. We can at least present our side together. No more hiding, no more lies. Her lips pressed tight, eyes flickering with uncertainty. One wrong word could undo everything. Outside, fans didn't pause. They became active participants in the drama, dissecting every detail in real time. Meme pages exploded with speculation about secret meetings and alliances. Split screens compared expressions, body language, and timing of movements. Forums and fan communities became battlegrounds, debating motives and projecting possible future scenarios. Reaction videos proliferated, with influencers analyzing tone, inflection, and gesture, constructing detailed narratives that blurred the line between reality and perception. As the global conversation swelled, Rashida prepared strategically for her next public appearance. She gathered a small group of trusted advisors, reviewing statements, considering angles, and planning how to reinforce her image of strength. "This isn't just a fight for truth," she said. "It's about how we control our story. Everything else is noise." Her team nodded in agreement, recognizing the delicate balance between transparency and media manipulation. Every detail mattered, from the phrasing of her sentences to the angle of the cameras capturing her composure. Karlie, capitalizing on every moment, released additional clips, each one strategically timed to keep the audience engaged and speculation high. The footage included intimate moments, Kirk pacing in private, Jasmine whispering urgently, Rashida observing silently. Each clip reignited the frenzy, keeping hashtags trending and commentary rampant. By now, the leaked footage was no longer just a video, it had become a cultural event. A viral phenomenon, a lens through which fans worldwide interpreted relationships, loyalty, and ambition. Meanwhile, production staff at Netflix worked around the clock, preparing for potential fallout. Executives debated whether to allow the reunion episode to air unedited, knowing the footage's authenticity could drive unprecedented ratings. Others feared backlash could ruin careers. Internal meetings became tense, mirroring the on-camera drama. Producers analyzed every angle, every frame, every potential public reaction. The lines between entertainment, reality, and viral sensation had blurred beyond repair. Kirk and Jasmine, isolated from public view, continued private discussions, aligning on a unified narrative. The pressure was immense, and trust, fragile. Every interaction was deliberate, every statement rehearsed. Rashida, on the other hand, projected unwavering strength publicly. navigating interviews, media appearances, and social media commentary with calculated precision. The dynamic had shifted. Raw emotion met strategic presentation, creating a perfect storm of attention, speculation, and drama. The leaked footage had accomplished more than anyone expected. Private discussions, previously confidential, had been thrust into the public sphere, forcing every participant to react, adapt, and strategize. Social media remained electric, fans demanding more, gossip outlets providing endless speculation, and meme culture amplifying every moment. Karlie, watching quietly from the sidelines, understood she had created something unprecedented, a story that would dominate headlines, trend globally, and leave an indelible mark on reality television history. As night fell, the tension didn't dissipate, evolved. Kirk, Jasmine, and Rashida were now players in a high-stakes game of perception, control, and public scrutiny. Every word, every gesture, every post was magnified, dissected, and analyzed. Viewers were no longer passive. They were active participants, influencing outcomes and shaping narratives through sheer attention and engagement. The leaked Netflix studio meeting had become more than a scandal. It had become a defining moment. It had exposed relationships, ignited conflicts, and forced unprecedented transparency. Fans were captivated, producers exhilarated, and the cast trapped in a whirlwind of emotion, consequence, and fame that showed no sign of slowing. Karlie, observing from her vantage point, smiled. The storm she had unleashed was far from over. The embers of tension, betrayal, and revelation would continue to burn, leaving a legacy of viral sensation, cultural impact, and unforgettable drama. The stage was set for the next act, the next reveal, and the next explosive twist that would dominate headlines and keep the world watching, hungry for more. And now, after everything you've just seen, the story isn't over. It never really is, because the drama keeps unfolding, and the truth is always just out of reach. You've watched the leaked footage, dissected every glance, every whisper, every moment of tension inside that Netflix studio. And you've seen how every action has consequences far beyond what anyone could have imagined. Now it's your turn to weigh in, to decide what really happened, and to make your voice heard. Fans are split. Some believe Kirk's story, some side with Jasmine, others stand firmly behind Rashida. The debate rages, the opinions clash, and the truth, as always, becomes a moving target. Comment below what you think actually went down. Do you believe Kirk and Jasmine were plotting behind the scenes? Or was it really all about contracts and spin-offs, as Kirk claims? Do you think Rashida's reaction was justified? Or has she been unfairly portrayed by the leak? Every comment matters, every opinion fuels the discussion, and the more you engage, the more alive this story becomes. Don't just watch, participate. Share your take, tag a friend, start a conversation, and let the world know where you stand. Hit that like button if you were shocked by the leaked footage, if your jaw dropped during Kirk and Jasmine's tense moments, if Rashida's stare left you speechless. Every like, every share, every interaction shows how much this story matters and how invested fans are in every twist and turn. It's more than reality TV, it's a cultural phenomenon, and you're part of it. So don't scroll past, make your reaction count. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We break down every moment, every clip, every whispered word so you don't miss a beat. Be the first to see new uploads, exclusive insights, and reactions that dig deeper than anyone else. We cover the drama, the secrets, the behind-the-scenes chaos, and we bring it straight to you, unfiltered and uncensored. Subscribing ensures you never miss the next twist, the next reveal, the next shocking leak that will leave the internet talking. Turn on notifications. Don't just be a passive viewer, be the first to know when new footage drops, when exclusive interviews surface, and when the story takes another explosive turn. Notifications mean you're always in the loop, always part of the conversation, and always ahead of the curve. Be ready to react, to discuss, and to share your opinions the moment the drama hits. Share this video with friends, family, or anyone who loves reality TV, drama, and celebrity intrigue. The more people watch, the more the story grows, and the more impact every reaction has. Send it in group chats, post it on your socials, and ignite debate wherever you can. Viral stories like this only grow when viewers like you participate, discuss, and spread the word. Every share amplifies the frenzy, every comment fuels the fire, and every like signals how much this narrative matters. Remember, the drama doesn't stop here. Kirk, Jasmine, Rashida, and Karlie are all players in a game that keeps evolving. New leaks could surface at any moment, private conversations could become public, and alliances might shift overnight. Staying engaged means staying informed, being part of the unfolding story, and having your opinion counted among millions of fans worldwide. We also want to hear your predictions. What do you think will happen next? Will Kirk and Jasmine come clean about the true nature of their meeting? Will Rashida reveal new evidence of betrayal? Is Karlie planning another leak that will shock everyone again? Post your predictions in the comments. Watch as the community debates, disagrees, and analyzes every possibility. Your insight could spark new conversations and even influence how others perceive the story. Don't forget, engagement is key. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to be part of the global conversation. Your participation doesn't just support the channel, it helps shape the narrative. The more voices, the richer the discussion, and the closer everyone comes to understanding what really happened behind closed doors. Reality TV has always been about drama, conflict, and emotion, but this story proves that it's also about connection, engagement, and the power of fans to influence the conversation. So take a moment, comment your thoughts, hit like if you're shocked, subscribe for more exclusive coverage, turn on notifications so you never miss an update, share with friends to expand the debate. Your reaction matters, your voice matters, and your engagement keeps the story alive. The drama is real, the tension is high, and the next chapter is always just around the corner. And finally, remember, this isn't just entertainment, it's a phenomenon. The leaked Netflix studio footage, the emotions, the arguments, the secrets, the alliances, they all live on through you, the fans. Your comments, shares, likes, and predictions ensure that the story continues to breathe, evolve, and captivate millions around the globe. Don't sit on the sidelines. Be part of the chaos, the revelation, the drama, and the history in the making. Stay tuned, stay engaged, stay part of the conversation. And remember, the world is watching, the drama is unfolding, and your voice is now part of the story. Comment below. Like, subscribe, share, predict, react, be heard, be counted. The saga is far from over, and your participation makes all the difference. This is your moment to step into the drama, to shape the narrative, and to experience the story as it continues to unfold. Kirk, Jasmine, Rashida, and Karlie have all made their moves, but now it's your turn. Don't just watch. Engage, react, and be part of the viral phenomenon that's capturing the attention of the world. Your opinion matters, your participation matters, and your voice will echo through every clip, every comment, every share. So what are you waiting for? Hit like if you're shocked. Comment your thoughts, predictions, and reactions. Subscribe for instant access to every leak, every reaction, and every update. Turn on notifications so you never miss a single moment. Share with your friends and ignite conversations. The story is evolving. The drama is intense, and you're at the center of it all. This is the reality TV event of the year, and you are now officially part of the conversation. Don't hold back, engage, react, and let the world know what you think. The drama, the secrets, and the shocking moments are far from over, and your voice is crucial in shaping how the story continues. Comment, like, subscribe, share, predict, and stay tuned for the next explosive chapter in this unforgettable saga.